Good morning everyone, this is Run4Adventure. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Liga Purvis, my wife. And you join us back out on the trails again, but we are not in Chamonix. We've actually moved on to Courmayeur for the Tour de Géants. And we've had a few busy days in town, filming the start of the 450k and the 330k races. But we thought we had a spare morning, so we'd get out on the trails, try and get in a training run before we take on the 30k on Saturday. Really looking forward to it, but we thought we'd just get in one more run before the big day. And we are heading up to Lake Shakrui, which we've never been to before, and it looks stunning. The climb isn't too bad. We're actually staying at a campsite at 1500 meters, so we're kind of altitude training as we sleep. And the lake's at about 2100 meters, so shouldn't be too long. And then we're going to pop back down into town and we're going to sort out the route for our shakeout run, because we are pairing up with Kailas Fuga. We're going to be doing a shakeout run in town on the Wednesday morning, so tomorrow. And we've got some shoes to demo as well, so we need to get that run sorted out and check out the route in Courmayeur. But should we get out this climb and go and check this lake out? Let's go. Hopefully the lungs and breathing will ease off a bit as we go. Straight out of bed and up a big climb. Let's go. So believe it or not, Liga found a campsite just out of town. It's about a 10-minute drive in this stunning valley. So mountains all the way around us. You can see the campsite just down there by the river, and then somewhere over there is Mont Blanc. So Chamonix is about 8 miles that way, but unfortunately the tunnel's closed, or you know, we could pop across and have a Moody's coffee, but never mind. But yeah, what an epic spot for a campsite. And like I said, it's at over 1500 meters, and I have definitely never camped that high before. The initial trails weren't too steep and we had stunning views of the mountain range as we headed up the climb. Plus, it was great to be running on some new trails that we had never been on before. We soon came across the first refugio of the run, Monte Bianco at 1,700 meters, and we also discovered the first very steep ski slope of the run, which actually looks pretty flat on the camera, but don't let that fool you, because this was a very steep section of trails, but it did level off eventually and allow us to pick up the pace just before we headed off into the trees to some much more technical rooted trails, which again were pretty steep in gradient. Okay, so we have reached our first destination, the refuge or refugio, because we're in Italy, at 1900 meters. Epic views ahead of us behind the camera. How stunning is that? Beautiful. We've broken through the trees, so we've got the sunshine now. We've actually just seen signs for the TMB route, but we're going to be heading right, I think, to the lake. Yep. There's some more signs up there. Should we go and check them out? Yeah, let's do it. But how are you feeling so far, Liga?
Better now.
Yeah? Got your breath now. It was a bit of a shock to the system, wasn't it?
I forget how high we are already. Yeah.
Coming out of the campsite at 1500 meters, you're in thin air straight away. So the first couple of 100 meters were a bit of a challenge, shall we say. Yeah. But everything always settles down eventually, doesn't it? Right. We're going to head off and try and find some signs for the lake. This way. It felt good once everything had settled down, and we were both feeling pretty strong after a decent block of mountain training in Chamonix. And to be honest, it was perfect conditions, with it being quite early still in the morning. The sun hadn't made it into the valley yet, so temperatures were good, and Liga was actually still running in her waterproof jacket. But the views continued to impress, and we knew that that lake couldn't be far away now. So there you have it, our first run of the trip to a lake is accomplished. And I've got to be honest, I thought it'd be a bit more breathtaking than that. I'm not that, I'm only joking, that's not the lake really. It's just up ahead, we're almost there.
What a lovely morning.
Perfection. Perfecto. Is that Italian? I don't know.
Wait, just adding O to the end of it.
Yeah, that's what you do, don't you? Sorry, any Italians watching. You know, I'm not serious. I can't speak Italian. I do apologise. How do you say sorry in Italian? I don't know.
Perdona. I don't know.
Now you're just adding a no to everything. Well, grazie for watching anyway, I know that one. So there we have it, folks, Lake Shakrui. And I've got to be honest, I thought it would be bigger, but it looks like it's quite empty at the moment. So you can see where the water line normally sits, but if you turn the camera around, it's a pretty mega view behind the lake. I mean, come on. Lake, snow-covered mountains. So we've been hiking for about an hour and 30 minutes. We took our time, stopped at the refuge, got chased by some goofy looking sheep, and just been doing some filming along the way. So we haven't gone too far. We've done, what, 3 miles and about 700 meters of elevation. So it's been a pretty steady effort, Liga, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just right, I think, because like we said, we are going to be going back down to the campsite. We're going to grab some breakfast, have a shower, get changed, and then we're heading back into Courmayeur, and we're going to be going out for another run this afternoon. So we didn't want to overdo it.
No, exactly.
So we've got our pictures. Shall we do the good bit? Running all the way back down to the campsite. Should be a good descent. Steep in places, but some nice runnable trail as well. And then we got some nice local bread and some local plum jam for breakfast. Come on, sounds great. Let's get down there, Liga. The descent back down to the campsite turned out to be exactly what we thought it would be. Awesome, flowing, runnable trails in the sunshine with mega views. And every now and again we'd have to dip back into the trees for a steeper, slightly more technical section, but for the most of it, it was all very runnable and we were making great time, and it was definitely a lot easier heading down than climbing up in the first place. And with our race being just around the corner, this training run was a big confidence booster because we were both feeling strong and moving well. Back down the steep ski slope we go, but this will be great conditioning for the quads for the Tour 30 because there is a very steep, tricky descent right down to the finish line in Courmayeur. So this should make the quads nice and strong. We are back down to the campsite in one piece, and we've done just under 6 miles and 2,200 feet of elevation. So a pretty good effort in the legs.
Yeah, nice little run.
Yeah, not as big as the effort in Chamonix up to the junction,
No.
but still a good run, still a good workout, and nothing too serious or technical. So perfect considering we're going to be racing in a few days time, so we didn't want to overdo it. And we got the views of the lake at the top, so first lake of the trip. A little bit underwhelming, but you know, never mind.
The views were amazing.
Oh, the views of the mountains were stunning. But you might have noticed at the beginning of the video, we headed off from somewhere else, not from the adventure bus. So let me show you around where we've been staying the last few days and tell you why we've been staying there. So this is our cozy cabin. So let me go through the door and show you where we've been staying for the last few days. So luckily the campsite we're at has these lovely little cabins. It's a bit dark, it's a bit gloomy in here, but we've got this lovely little cabin, double bed, really comfortable double bed, cupboard over there for some storage. We've got a little kitchenette there with a fridge, 2-burner hob and a small little sink. Loads of storage, so we've got everything packed away. I've got to admit it is a real cosy place to stay. It's small, it's compact, but it's been brilliant. And let me come back outside. So the reason we're not staying in the adventure bus isn't anything to do with its performance. It's been incredible on this trip, but what we found was we're having to head down into Courmayeur for the race quite a lot, and some nights we've been there late and there's no buses and no taxis back to the campsite. So one night we stayed for the start of the 450k race, went to get a taxi, no taxis, so we had to hike all the way back to the campsite, about 6 kilometers with 400 meters of elevation with all our gear. So we thought we needed a change of plan, and like I said, luckily the campsite had one of these pods available, so now we're using the adventure bus to ferry ourselves between town and the campsite, and it's working really well. Plus we got a nice cozy warm place to stay. So we had noticed staying up high at over 1,500 meters in the tent box, it was getting a bit chilly, so we've actually been staying in the back of the van and it was really cozy there. But it's just a lot more practical having the camping pod and having the van to travel into town. So really hope you enjoyed coming along on today's run, and like I said, we're going to now head into town and we're going to run our shakeout run route one more time just to make sure we've got it right in our heads, because the last thing we want to do is get lost. It's going to be a good run, really nice route, bit of tarmac, bit of elevation, some technical stuff, so it's going to be great for guys to come along and test out a pair of the Kailas Fuga shoes. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the run. We've got more content heading your way. Obviously we'll be filming the race, the 30k race, we'll be filming the shakeout run as well, and there's going to be a video of the whole tour week experience coming to the channel soon. So we got a few more days here, and then we're going to be heading back to Cornwall after being away in Switzerland, France, in Chamonix, and now in Italy for a good couple of months. So it's been incredible. Obviously it's going to be great to get back to Cornwall as well, because it's a pretty awesome place to live. But for now guys, thanks for watching, it's always appreciated. We'll be back on the channel very soon, and as always, stay safe, keep on running.